too. Meadowbrook Inn is your private retreat in charming Blowing Rock. Escape together this fall. Reserve your romantic getaway today at meadowbrook-inn.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning, Lake Norman. This is Mayor Woody Washam with the town of Cornelius, and welcome. You're about town today, and man, we've got a great show. We always have some great folks here on our show, but it's a especially good show today, and things that you are going to be interested in. This is where the rubber meets the road in town government for sure. If you mess this part up, you get in trouble for sure. And for that, and to answer all the hard questions that you may call in and ask us, I've got the expert here, and that is our awesome assistant town manager and our director of public works, Tyler Beardsley. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to be
I
here.
haven't had you on this show in a long time.
It's been a while. I think it's my third time overall, but it's been a while since I've been here.
That's right. That's right. Well, you got the answers for sure, and things are moving forward. Things are changing in a good way in the town of Cornelius as we enhance the services that we provide to all of our citizens. That's what folks look at, and that's why they pay their tax money. And I think Tyler Beardsley's phone number, his cell phone number, is the most frequent number I give out to folks calling me. So
now I know who to blame.
Now you know who to blame. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the Goose Lady here in a minute, too. There's always good stories. There's great stories out there that we always will never let Tyler forget about. So he's got a lot of he's known for a lot of things, but geese is one of them in our town. And I know you don't understand what I mean by that, but we'll explain shortly. So tell us a little bit about the Public Works Department. It's a critical department in our town government, and it's so visible to our citizens. If we don't get it right, people tell you that we aren't getting it right, don't they?
That's right.
So what do you get the most calls about?
As you can probably imagine, traffic is our biggest complaint that we get.
I get those calls too.
Yeah. So we, the town actually owns and maintains just over 110 miles of roads, and then NCDOT owns and maintains about 30 miles of roads, and DOT maintains more of the major roads: Highway 21, 115, West Catawba, Westmoreland, those kind of roads. And then the town maintains more of the neighborhood type streets. So most of the traffic issues are on DOT roads, but we work in conjunction with them all the time. There's 2-3 construction projects going on by DOT to help relieve some traffic right now. We got several more on the way. So
we're proud of that, aren't we?
We absolutely are. Yep. They're moving, and they can't come fast enough.
It's not all we need, but it's a start, and we'll take it. Absolutely, we'll take it. And that's been quite a journey to get the money. And if you add up all the dollars that is required to do that work, to fix our issues related to traffic in this town, it's a lot of dollars, isn't it?
That's right. It's about $500 million worth of DOT projects that are happening within our town limits. Fortunately, the town is getting a really good return. We're having to invest some of our money, about $30 million. But
boy, the return is awesome, isn't it?
Put in 30 to get 500. I'd do that all day.
I think anybody would. I think anyone, if you want to scale it back, it's we invest $1 and we get 14 back if you want to take it right on down to the specifics. And when you're in the campaign mode like I am, you learn those statistics pretty much. So that's a good one to know for sure. So how many employees you have in Public Works now?
So we have 8 employees. So we have 6 that are kind of our field maintenance crew guys. Actually, the longest tenured employee with the town is a Public Works employee. He's been here 33 years. Just had his 33rd anniversary with the town. So he's been here a long time.
You got some great folks. I see them out and about. And, man, I tell you what, any Public Works department in any town anywhere, they know where the bodies are buried. I always say that. And your employee, Ricky Overcash, was certainly one of those.
Yep.
I think he knows where the most are buried out there and about. But, it takes us back many, many years. And to have that knowledge, that base of knowledge within the department, I know it means a lot to you.
Yeah, it's very helpful. I mean, especially Ricky, who now works for us part-time. He retired but came back part-time. He has such a knowledge and such a history of the town. Basically, every development that has been built since 1992, Ricky's had a part in. So that's the vast majority of our developments, of our population live in those developments. So having that knowledge, I mean, it's invaluable.
It's pretty incredible. So, we've got a lot of very, very popular services. I remember when I first got elected, the previous board had tried this experiment of, they were very, very, very cost conscious. And, because of their cost consciousness, they were cutting expenses wherever they could. And one that they reached out and snatched away from residents was our leaf collection. I never will forget that. When I got on the board, we could not reinstate that fast enough. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So we, I don't remember when it was, 2013-ish probably. The board voted to get rid of leaf collection, and we do leaf collection November to January. And prior to November even starting, we got so many complaints about getting rid of leaf collection that the board was already working on trying to reinstate it. So we never actually missed any time because we were getting so many complaints prior to leaf collection even starting.
Just the thought of eliminating that was just negative.
Yep.
I mean, that was just so negative. So we jumped and responded. We listened to citizens, and it took no time to get that going again. So, it takes some equipment to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we've really invested in that to try to increase our service levels with leaf collection. Yeah, we have 4 leaf vacuums. When we were getting rid of the service, we only had 2, so we've added 2 more, and we are able to make it around town typically in about a 2-week time. It's very weather and volume dependent, so it can fluctuate. After Thanksgiving, the month between Thanksgiving and Christmas is our heaviest volume time, so it can go 3-ish weeks, but on average, it's about 2 weeks. We commit to once a month, but usually which we do it for 3 months, so we commit to 3 times, but typically we'll do 7 or 8 rounds, so we well exceed our goal of 3.
So I got a big question for you, Tyler. So whose pile of leaves in the town of Cornelius is the biggest?
I'm gonna say the person also sitting at this table, Colin Furcht. His neighborhood is always up there. The Rockridge Shores neighborhood is always up there as one of our heaviest areas.
I'm glad you didn't call my name. I was afraid you were going to do that. I was so afraid.
Your area is also
number 2, right?
Heavy. You just have a smaller neighborhood, so in terms of volume by neighborhood, I think Colin's got you there.
There you go. Well, he mentioned Colin Furcht, who's one of our planning board members. We'll be right back in 1 minute and have a little conversation with Colin as well. So stay tuned, folks.
Connecting you to Cornelius. Stories, projects, and voices. Don't go away. More About Town next, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
A little cooler for our Thursday. Still beautiful. Plenty of sunshine. High temperatures backing off from those 80s into the mid-70s for the afternoon. Chilly overnight, especially in the outlying spots. Lower lying areas will dip into the upper 40s. Some folks, maybe even mid-40s. Early for Friday morning. That's our coolest day of the next several. With low to mid-70s, we'll get a little warmer over the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Then 110, upscale and elegant, but never pretentious. Over 500 whiskeys, 100 wines, craft cocktails, and crave-worthy small bites. Live music plus monthly comedy nights and tastings. Post your next event at Then 110, located at 19712 One Norman Boulevard in Cornelius.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is having their Thirsty Thursdays tournament on October 16th. Visit the 500 Club online for more information on tee times, memberships, and club events. Monday, October 20th is Potter and Potions Night at 158 on Main in Mooresville. Wizards, witches, and muggles unite to raise money for the National Kidney Foundation. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the fun beginning at 6:30 for this 18 and over event. Help the National Kidney Foundation, October 20th at 158 on Main. It's almost time for Halloween in Huntersville. Join us Sunday, October 26th for an evening of family fun from 4 to 7 p.m. There's a big surprise finale at 7 when we light up the night sky. Admission, parking, and activities are all free. Halloween in Huntersville is presented by WSIC, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, and ABS Kids. On Halloween night, WSIC is bringing the Rocky Horror Picture Show to the Charles Mack Citizen Center in Mooresville. The VIP experience begins at 6 p.m. with showtime at 8. Tickets are on sale right now at WSICnews.com. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World Short Track Championships October 31st and November 1st. And then the World of Outlaws World Finals are November 5th through the 8th. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Cornelius News, Heritage, and Community. We're back with About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
And we're back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam right here, and we're talking about public works and also the Cornelius Planning Department just a little bit, and find a lot of things going on there as we talk to our planning board member Colin Furcht as well. So anyway, back to Tyler Beardsley. There's a whole list of other things. We were just talking about leaf collection. I think we could talk this whole show about leaf collection for sure, but there are other things that go on in the Public Works Department as well. So tell us about that, Tyler. What's your next biggest item?
So some other things that we maintain, just day-to-day operations, we maintain sidewalks. So all the sidewalks in town, whether they're on town roads or NCDOT roads, we maintain those. It's about 130 miles of roads. So trip hazards, we repair those constantly. We're talking about leaves, but our street trees, they're beautiful, but they cause sidewalks to pop up all the time and create trip hazards. So we're always out repairing those.
So to be clear, when the state of North Carolina, they're doing a lot of construction in our town, road construction, it's the responsibility of the town to put in the sidewalks. Isn't that correct?
So as part of the like the project, so like US 21 and Catawba project, that the sidewalk installation is included in that DOT contract.
Good.
We will maintain the sidewalk after that.
After they put it in place.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if they rip up one of our sidewalks on an existing road, they got to put it back too.
That's right. But in terms of sidewalks, we've also constructed 2 new segments of sidewalk. One's on Bailey Road right near Huff High School. And then another one we just finished is on Norman Colony Road, just off Bethel Church Road.
Right.
So just one of the little peninsulas, and trying to make that peninsula a little more walkable and safer for pedestrians.
I've got so many thank yous on that little short segment of sidewalk on Norman Colony. It's incredible. It's near my house, number one, but it's incredibly connective piece of it that needed to be in place that is now there. Yep. So a lot of applause going up on that one for sure. So
that was a good one. So kind of in the same lines as sidewalks, we also maintain all of our crosswalks. So we've been really proactive in putting in crosswalk lights. You might have seen the yellow flashing lights. Those are called RRFBs, or rectangular rapid flashing beacons. So
Very helpful.
They are very helpful. We've installed a number of those over the past several years. We have one we just put in recently at Cornelius Elementary School, in front of Cornelius Elementary School. We have two more, one on Washam Potts at Coachman's Trace that we're going to put in the next month or so, and then another one at on Bethel Church at Walter Henderson as well. So those two will be going up in the next month or so.
That's
waiting
awesome.
on some materials.
How much do those things cost?
They're about $15,000 per setup. So they're not cheap, but
are they solar operated?
Most of them are solar. We have a few that are electric, depending on where they're located. But most of them are solar. It's easier. Don't have to run electricity. They just work better as solar. So they've been a great addition for pedestrian safety. We're going to continue to work on those as well, and happy to keep doing that because we get a lot of complaints about crosswalk safety throughout town.
We do, and it's real. It's a real problem. It really is.
Yep.
So, but how do we know? I know that there's a little bit more complex setup, like on Westmoreland Road. So, what's that kind of system called?
So that one's called a Hawk system, and I don't know what the acronym for Hawk is.
We get it.
But
We'll take it.
But basically, for the higher speed roads, so Westmoreland will be a 45 mile an hour road. Their NCDOT also maintains that road, so they have requested or told us we need to have the Hawk system for better compliance, and it's provides red lights instead of just orange flashing lights. So the red lights, you're supposed to stop for a pedestrian when the red lights are solid, and as they'll start to flash red. And once they start flashing, if the crosswalk is clear of the pedestrian, then a motorist can go after that. It's a little confusing, but once they start flashing, as long as you're clear, the driver can proceed through that crosswalk.
Yeah. So when we have a state construction project going on, and we've got one at Pot Street at the YMCA, got like you said, 3 just completely wide open with construction, Highway 20. How does the town get involved with that part of it? I know we do, but give our listeners a little idea how you're involved with it. I've had to call you a few times to get DOT's attention. I know that's one way.
Yeah, so we get a lot of the calls, right? Residents aren't calling DOT. Most people don't know it's a DOT versus a town project, so we field a lot of the calls of issues. Right now we're dealing with one at Catawba and 21, the signal. We got new signals put in a couple of weeks ago, and the signal timing is just not quite what it used to be with the DDI right there. So we've been in constant communication with DOT about that signal timing and trying to improve that timing and get it back to a place that it was prior to the new signal switch. We go to monthly progress meetings with DOT on the projects just to stay up to date on what's going on. I was out at 115 at the roundabout because of a utility conflict yesterday with our electric system, the town's electric system, Electricities. There's a utility conflict that has come up. So I was out there yesterday on site working with DOT and our contractor with Electricities to resolve that issue. So we're out there all the time, talking to DOT all the time, getting progress updates. We're just, since it's in our town and we see the most of it, we hear the most of it, we try to stay as up to date as possible with DOT.
Well, one of the things I like is I can remember a pothole in our town that was just pretty dangerous. I think it was out on Westmoreland Road. This was a while back, and we couldn't get DOT out here. I mean, it was literally dangerous for a car to hit that. So there's situations like that where you guys just come out and deal with it. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct. I don't know if the one you're talking about, but we had one on that town public works employees filled on Christmas Day on Westmoreland Road because
that's the one I'm talking about.
We got our police dispatch was getting calls left and right about this pothole. There were several flat tires, people hitting it. It was right as you're coming off the bridge deck going over 77. So it was hard to see. And so we had our guys go out there and fill that pothole on Christmas Day, just to help the residents and make sure no one had another flat tire.
Exactly. Well, like I say, it would throw folks off if you were driving at maybe a little enhanced speed. So that was a good move. But we're not above doing that. We don't sit around and wait. It's all about the safety of our citizens.
That's right. We're happy to help. You know, we know DOT's a huge organization, and sometimes it's easier for us to go out and fix it than wait on them. So we're happy to help do that for the good of the citizens and the good of the community. Yeah, that's the way you have a better quality of life, and that's something we promote and enhance here in our town. That's one way to do it. You just deal with it. Yep. You don't point fingers, and they help us out once in a while too. They do.
Sure, they do.
They do. So, we're great partners. I mean, they're great to work with. They help us out. We help them out.
So I get calls. I got one yesterday. I don't get that many calls, but I got one yesterday about the light at Washam Potts Road where it comes into 115. And the complaint was that, well, you only get 30 seconds if you're coming out Washam Potts Road. So how do you get things like that changed? You got two state roads coming together, and the complaint comes to the town. How do we deal with that? Yeah, so that one we have that one, and we also have on kind of the other end of that corridor at Westmoreland and West Catawba, and Westmoreland and Washam Potts. We got that one just a couple days ago as well. We just have to communicate with the DOT. They have their own traffic division that handles all the signals. On staff, we don't have anyone that can handle signals, so we just have to communicate with DOT. They have a system where they can remotely log into all the signals in their system, so they can check it. Their office is in Albemarle, so they can check the system from Albemarle and try to reprogram it or see what's going on. And if they need to send somebody out, they will. It's just going to take an hour plus to get here from Albemarle. So it's really beneficial that they can log in and look at all their signals remotely. But yeah, we have to just communicate that with DOT, and we do that all the time. So once we move forward with the vote here in November about the transit tax, we will be able to access some additional funds for our roads and our highways and things that we need to build. And it's a large amount of money. It's about $6 million for Cornelius. So we'll be able to deal with some of these problems on our own, like the signaling problem with some of those funding. Isn't that correct? Yeah. So a lot of, at least the signals, will still remain DOT. So we'll probably keep those the same, but we'll definitely be able to add on, repave or add laneage, improve intersections. Even on DOT roads, we'll be able to do that. We've done that in the past, and are continuing to look at some of the DOT improvements that aren't going to rank well in their overall system. So having that funding is just going to be incredible for us. It's a game changer. They'll be happy to let us do it. Yeah, so, that's exactly right. A lot more to talk about in Public Works, and we're going to flip over and talk about our planning board in just a minute. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we'll be right back.
Connecting you to Cornelius. Stories, projects, and voices. Don't go away. More About Town next, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
A little cooler for our Thursday. Still beautiful. Plenty of sunshine. High temperatures backing off from those 80s into the mid-70s for the afternoon. Chilly overnight, especially in the outlying spots. Lower lying areas will dip into the upper 40s. Some folks, maybe even mid-40s. Early for Friday morning. That's our coolest day of the next several. With low to mid-70s, we'll get a little warmer over the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
cakes and cookies, toys and gifts.
The Southern Christmas Show, November 13th through 23rd at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Save on tickets at southernChristmasShow.com, courtesy of Kraft Body Scan.
The Southern Christmas Show.
Looking to sell or buy in Huntersville or Lake Norman?
Hi, I'm Jeff Snide, owner and managing broker of Blue Oak Realty Group. Here's the truth. Your needs don't pause for the market. Whether you need more space, less space, or just the right fit, I'll help you create a smart strategy that makes sense for your family and your goals. With over a decade of experience right here in Lake Norman, I know this community, and I treat every client's goals like my own.
Call Jeff today or visit BlueOakRealtyGroup.com. Outstanding service, smart moves. That's Blue Oak Realty Group.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Is your to-do list overwhelming? DIY gone awry? From leaky faucets, squeaky doors, and rooms in need of a makeover, House Doctors of Mooresville handles it all. Free estimates, quality materials, and a one-year guarantee. We fix it, you relax. Visit housedoctors.com/Mooresville.
Men over 45, do you have a frequent, urgent need to urinate or a weak flow? Do you suffer from an enlarged prostate or BPH? Want to learn about alternatives to BPH medication and major surgery? How? Talk to a doctor about the UroLift system. The UroLift system is the #1 chosen minimally invasive BPH procedure in the U.S. It uses a proven approach to treating enlarged prostate symptoms that lifts and holds the enlarged prostate tissue out of the way, so it no longer blocks the urethra. No heating, cutting, removal, or destruction of prostate tissue is required. Find rapid symptom relief while preserving sexual function. Call 1-800-858-7070. 1-800-858-7070. That's 1-800-858-7070. Most common side effects are temporary and can include discomfort while urinating, urgency, inability to control the urge, pelvic pain, and some blood in the urine. Rare side effects, including bleeding and infection, may lead to a serious outcome and may require intervention.
Harrison's is the home of Work Western, and wow! For nearly 30 years, our family has been boots on the ground when it comes to work. We have the largest selection of in-stock boots in the Carolinas and the best workwear brands like Harriet, Carhartt, and Wrangler. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
How can we make your day spotless? Yes, I'm Andrea, owner of Spotless Cleaning. Of course, our technicians do the extras. It surprises people. Yes, baseboards, window frames, and of course, toilets. Not maids, trained technicians. Exactly. In Brazil, my grandparents taught me to live my life without guilt. Yes, more time means better, bigger life. Yes, with Spotless Cleaning, you live it. Plus, have a clean house. SpotlessCleaningNC.com.
Hey folks, you know Randy Marion is the king of price when it comes to buying a new vehicle or a premium vehicle. But how about king of price when it comes to the service department? Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln in Statesville has you covered on tires, brakes, batteries, wipers, you name it. Any service you need on your vehicle, regardless of the make or model, come see Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville Service Department or Randy Marion Ford Lincoln Service Department today.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Wall Street's appetite for all things related to artificial intelligence continues following a strong outlook from Taiwan Semiconductor. Stocks also getting a boost today from a fresh batch of strong bank earnings. Another day, another record for gold. The precious metal trading above $4,200 an ounce as investors pile money into the so-called safe haven investment amid economic uncertainty. Microsoft is encouraging people to talk to their laptops as it rolls out new artificial intelligence updates to Windows 11. Microsoft ended free security support for Windows 10 this week, though millions of people are still using PCs running the older operating system. And Taco Bell's popular Beefy Crunch burrito is back with a spicy twist. The new Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese burrito, available starting today for a limited time only. It joins several new menu items made with Frank's Red Hot Diablo sauce. Alexis Christophorus, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
Cornelius News, Heritage, and Community. We're back with About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
And we're back. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and welcome back to About Town today. It's a great show with our Assistant Manager and Public Works Director, Tyler Beardsley, and also Planning Board member, Colin Furcht. Colin, I want to talk about Planning Board. Y'all are just off of a really, really major decision this past meeting. And, you know, our one of our last couple of meetings here on this show, we talked a lot about the downtown master plan. I think I had Rox and our planning director in here talking about that a while back, but it's kind of a dream come true to me. It's not formally passed by our town board, but it's worked its way through the planning board. That was a pretty strong vote you guys gave us, right?
Absolutely. Well, when you see this plan and really the intensity of how many pieces and parts, it's not just a general statement. I mean, I think it was a 150-page presentation. And the amount of work that went in, not just from Kimley Horn, but from just the folks in town. This was a very interactive process. So I think we're all very excited about that.
Oh, we had an unbelievable number of citizens involved in that, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a couple of the public sessions where we'd have them put little Post-it notes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I don't even know who has all those, but it's a pretty significant amount of Post-it notes.
I mean, it was truly a citizens-driven process, and the way it should be. We had a great consultant. First of all, some people give us a little bit of criticism for spending money on consultants, but my goodness, they're the experts.
Yeah.
And you really have to listen to the experts to drive a process that big and that massive and that life-changing in our town. It's a 25-year plan, I think, right?
Yeah, 2050. It's the Downtown Master Plan 2050, as it's called. And because they have so much visibility to other towns across the country, you know, if there's other towns that have taken the leap before we did, we can certainly pull from some of the cool ideas that they had.
Yeah.
And as we've said a million times in planning, there's only so much space in Cornelius. So what do you do with that?
Right.
And some of it may mean rip and replace. Some of it may mean, you know, repurposing certain areas. So you have to take all that into consideration.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you could continue that. It's really kept you in touch with, town government for the last couple of years. And I think that's a really good thing. So what are some of the other things you guys are looking at? You've had some interesting projects come your way. And for the most part, the town board has agreed with you, but maybe not 100%.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. I would say two of the larger projects that came up, the business park over on Bailey Road was a big one, obviously. And then Kashmir was another project where, and I've had this conversation with my peers on planning. Planning and the town board don't always have to agree.
Right.
From a planning perspective, and as you know, I've sat on both sides of the table, planning looks at it from I don't want to say legal per se, but more of a, does this fit the code and the land use plan, and does that, you know, square peg fit in the square hole? Whereas from a town board perspective, there's a lot more input. It's probably a little bit of emotion, a little bit more of, you know, does this really fit the culture of what we're trying to accomplish? So I would like to say most of the time both teams are on the same page, but also there's always a lot of different expectations from both teams as well.
You know, we've had a lot of discussion in our with various ones of the projects that are out there in terms of there's times, and Bailey Road was an example, where the zoning and the land use didn't match up. And I struggle with that a little bit, honestly. I know there's a couple of schools of thought about which way that should go, but it seems to me that it's a little misleading when your zoning is in one place and your land use plan is in another place. So I'm kind of on the side that I think they need to match up in most cases, maybe not 100%. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't hate that idea because I think it makes it easier on the planning department when developers come forward and say, hey, we'd like to do this project. Where do you think we'd have I don't want to say the easiest path, but the least amount of obstacles?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that is definitely something the next board, whoever that may be, should consider putting that together. And then if there are challenges associated with that merging of the two plans, then let's talk about those specifically. And maybe those are excluded in a way, or maybe we kind of look at those differently. But I think where the commonalities are is really where we should focus our attention.
Yeah, I do too. And where they can match up, I think that's a good thing. But that just doesn't always work that way. So, we've got we were talking in pre-development the other day with a developer that was looking at a plat of land. I think it was about 6 acres. It's our only piece of property that's part of the town of Cornelius ETJ that fronts on Samfur Road. It's near Mays and it's down in that area, but it fronts on Samfur Road, and it's currently zoned rural preservation. Well, I think for the most part, our planning department wasn't ready to leave that designation, even though it fronts on Samfur Road. So anyway, that's kind of the advice we gave this particular developer, that it was going to be a tough change. But you guys deal with that same thing from time to time too, where the match is really off. The use that this developer was looking at was a small housing area that he defined as affordable housing. It wasn't really affordable housing with the government designation, but in his mind it was, and I get that with the cost of today. But that was a little bit of a tough one. But more to come, I think, as we move into the future. But you guys have got some good folks on the planning board now, and I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, I think everyone's very focused on the issue at hand. I think we ask a lot of really good questions, and I think the folks on the team now are really just concerned about the future. And this kind of goes to what we've talked about for the last 4 years, is the folks in Cornelius want us to be very diligent. They want us to be very focused on what we do approve. And I'll be honest, there really hasn't been that much. The agenda's not full every month. There's
Right.
things maybe administratively, but we're not getting dozens and dozens of building requests, which I think is a good thing, because the previous boards have been very specific, and this is what we want to see over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And so as busy as the planning department probably is, I would say we've only seen a handful of projects in the last year.
Right. Well, I think most of our citizens would applaud that.
Yeah, exactly.
For the most part. And I really am intrigued by your comment related to the fact that the planning board and the town board really doesn't have to always agree. That's healthy. It really is. Sometimes the town board will know things that the planning board can't know, that we learn in closed session or whatever. As you also know, the town of Cornelius just put under contract the 36 acres that you were just talking about as the industrial project down on off of Bailey Road. But after that project ended, it was denied. It was turned down. This developer didn't get to develop that for a lot of reasons, which I think were the right reasons. Certainly, the town did a lot of due diligence, and I think it was the right thing to do for the town to go ahead and purchase that. But it could be part of a bigger plan there on that particular property somewhere in the future. So that's a good thing, and it is part of our town's park master plan, which to me is a awfully strong statement as to what there might be to come with that particular property. So no commitments, but that's just kind of the way we look at it. So
the people spoke on that with the $20 million bond.
Thankfully they did. So that was a green space. That's kind of what we're all about now. So this is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we'll be right back. A lot more to talk about in Public Works as well. So don't turn us away yet. Join us at the next particular segment of our show. Thanks for listening today.
Connecting you to Cornelius. Stories, projects, and voices. Don't go away. More About Town next, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
A little cooler for our Thursday. Still beautiful. Plenty of sunshine. High temperatures backing off from those 80s into the mid-70s for the afternoon. Chilly overnight, especially in the outlying spots. Lower lying areas will dip into the upper 40s. Some folks, maybe even mid-40s. Early for Friday morning. That's our coolest day of the next several. With low to mid-70s, we'll get a little warmer over the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is having their Thirsty Thursdays tournament on October 16th. Visit the 500 Club online for more information on tee times, memberships, and club events. Monday, October 20th is Potter and Potions Night at 158 on Main in Mooresville. Wizards, witches, and muggles unite to raise money for the National Kidney Foundation. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the fun beginning at 6:30 for this 18 and over event. Help the National Kidney Foundation, October 20th at 158 on Main. It's almost time for Halloween in Huntersville. Join us Sunday, October 26th for an evening of family fun from 4 to 7 p.m. There's a big surprise finale at 7 when we light up the night sky. Admission, parking, and activities are all free. Halloween in Huntersville is presented by WSIC, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, and ABS Kids. On Halloween night, WSIC is bringing the Rocky Horror Picture Show to the Charles Mack Citizen Center in Mooresville. The VIP experience begins at 6 p.m. with showtime at 8. Tickets are on sale right now at WSICnews.com. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World Short Track Championships October 31st and November 1st. And then the World of Outlaws World Finals are November 5th through the 8th. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Then 110. Upscale and elegant, but never pretentious. Over 500 whiskeys, 100 wines, craft cocktails, and crave-worthy small bites. Live music plus monthly comedy nights and tastings. Post your next event at N110, located at 19712 1 Norman Boulevard in Cornelius.
Cornelius News, Heritage, and Community. We're back with About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
And welcome back, everybody. And if you're watching live, you know that this is not Woody. Woody had to step out for another event, so he asked Tyler and I to close out the rest of the show. So, Tyler, thanks for sticking around with me.
Absolutely.
So we've got to come up with some really exciting stuff here this last segment. So I want to make sure that we touch on a few of the other things on your list. And one of the things that stands out to me, because people ask me, certainly from a planning perspective a lot too, is the bike ped plan. So take us through that.
Sure. So the town is currently just getting started on updating a new bike and ped plan, pedestrian plan. And this is basically a guide for us to look at all bike and ped facilities throughout town. And as we construct new roads, new sidewalks on roads that don't have sidewalks, this is kind of our guide. So it'll rank all the bike and ped projects throughout town, look at new connections for both of those, and just give us a guide on where to install sidewalks and bike facilities. We're just getting started. We got a great consultant under contract. It's McAdams Group. We are going to use our Transportation Advisory Board as kind of a steering committee for that. We'll have public input sessions likely in the beginning of December. So yeah, we're real excited about getting this underway. We got a grant from the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization to help pay for this. So it's all real exciting and help us guide ourselves into the future with bike and ped facilities.
It's fantastic. So for those of us that don't ride bikes, but are drivers in cars, one of the big things I see a lot is bikes in the regular lane. And in a lot of the roads, we have that lane that you talk about. But
yeah.
What are the rules on that? Meaning, do they have to go in the direction of traffic? Take us through kind of some of the basics there.
So I will admit I'm not an expert on bike laws, but my understanding that if a bike is in the road, it is basically a vehicle, right? So it should follow the same rules, same traffic laws that a vehicle does. So if it comes to a stop sign, it should stop. If it's at a red light, it should be stop at a red light. So it should act just as a vehicle.
Does that mean you can't pass it?
No, you can pass
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, there actually are laws about how to pass, which is like give them a bike 3 feet of space, something like that. Which I know is not practical in every situation, but obviously giving them more space is better for everyone's safety.
Gotcha.
But if they're in the road, they're supposed to just follow all the same traffic laws as vehicles.
Fantastic. And so when do you foresee this being, I don't know if complete is the right word, but when will most of the town have this in place?
So our plan is going to be done probably late spring, early summer of 2026. So it's a 6 to 8 month project, just getting started now. And then it'll be a guide for probably 10 or 15 years. And as we get funding available for roads and for sidewalks, we'll start working on knocking those things off the list.
Gotcha. And obviously that was part of the downtown master plan that we had just talked about in the last segment.
Yep.
Certainly walkability and keeping cars off the road. So, bicycles and things like that are going to be areas we want to focus on. So that's fantastic. So, all right. So there's notes here on Cornelius 101. And I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what that is. So you're going to have to educate me and the listeners on that. What is Cornelius 101?
So this is an initiative that the town board approved in the current year's budget, and it's basically a citizens academy. So it gives citizens an overview of the town and all of the departments. So we're looking at starting this in February, and it'll be an 8-week course. Every Thursday, I believe. Man, I should have looked at this before. It's either Tuesday or Thursday evenings. We're looking at this for 8 weeks. And basically each week will be a department. So there will be an administration, finance, planning, police, fire, and citizens that sign up will just learn and get an in-depth knowledge of those departments. And we'll do a field trip, go out to each department. Like the police will probably go out to where the boats are, be at the police station. Same with fire department. You'll get to climb all over fire trucks, things like that. So it's just trying to give citizens the knowledge of what the town actually does. And so we don't feel like we do a great job of promoting ourselves sometimes. So this is another way to try to promote ourselves.
No, that's fantastic. So how many of those will we do a year?
Right now, we're starting with just the one, so
Okay.
we're going to do the one in February. There are several towns around us that do multiple. The police department does one as well. They do 2 a year. So this is our first one, so taking dipping our toe into it a little bit. But as we move forward, we might add a second one. So do a fall and a spring one, something like that.
Nice.
But right now, just the one.
Gotcha. And how many folks will be allowed in the first class, and how do they sign up?
We're going to do 20, I believe it's 20 people, and it'll be just first come, first serve. We're going to have an application on our website. That'll be open probably in late December, maybe early December, and people will just be able to sign up. And once we get to our max number, then we'll cut it off, but or have a waiting list. Yeah, we're excited about it. It's just a good way to keep people informed, and the more people know, the better.
Absolutely. And the website is cornelius.org.
Yep.
And I'm sure there'll be a flyer on there.
Yeah,
or a
we'll
button.
put out social media posts, a press release. We'll get the word out as best we can that the application process is open, and it'll probably be front page of our website for a little while until something else comes along.
Awesome. And so I think that's fantastic. And again, as someone who's been in the commissioner chair, someone who sits on planning board now, people come to me all the time and they ask a lot of questions about how things work. So I think this class or the program is fantastic. But I'm really optimistic that we're giving folks another opportunity to really see behind the scenes, because sometimes I feel like the stories are bigger than the reality sometimes on why it didn't work or why it did work. And I'm really excited to see that we're giving folks from the community an opportunity. Those that want to learn, we're giving you a path.
Yep.
I think we argue all the time, social media doesn't always hit everybody. How do we get all 34,000 people, on board? I don't think there's any magic answer to that, but I think things like this really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to let people know what we do. I mean, a lot of people, and rightfully so, just go to work and come home. So, we do a lot of great things. We provide a lot of great programs. We're always trying to reach out to citizens, get input, get volunteers, anything like that. So I think it's just another way to spread our reach and get people involved.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And so just for folks listening and watching, in addition to this program, there's obviously a handful of committees that are part of the town as well.
That's
Planning,
right.
Parks and Rec, Transportation Advisory Board, and that's made up of citizens.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
so we want to encourage folks to go on the website as well and apply for those spots too.
Right.
And so, is there any other groups that you I mentioned 3. Who am I missing off the top of my head?
We also have an architectural review board. That one is a little more specialized. We have we want somebody who's basically a design professional to serve on that, not just me who has no design experience, can't provide any real meaningful input on things like that. So we have the architectural review board.
I know there's more.
There's probably more.
Yeah.
We have several, but yeah, there's application also on our website that you can see all the boards that we have.
And these are several year terms.
Yep.
I think a lot of them are staggered 2 and 4 year terms. So if you have any interest in serving the town and learning more about it from the inside and being part of some of the, I wouldn't say decisions, but recommendations that the town board takes, those committees are just invaluable, because having that real resident input on a lot of this stuff really makes a difference.
Yep.
And there's a lot of diversity in our town, and certainly a lot of different opinions. But just like with the growth management task force that happened 3-4 years ago, that took a long time, 18 months, but it was all really generated by folks in town.
That's right. And we like to think we know everything about town, but I mean, citizens are right there living it every day as well. So, citizens have great input and great feedback. So the more we can get, the better.
Yeah. And all of us, before we got into government, if you will, we were just citizens as well.
Yep.
And one of the reasons I jumped in was because I got tired of complaining about stuff. And so for me, it was more of how can I make an impact? And I know there's a lot of other folks in town that feel that same way.
Yep.
So I'm here to tell you, definitely throw your hat in the ring, find an area of town that's important to you, and maybe get one of the commissioners to sponsor you in a way to say, hey, this is really somebody they want on the team. So, but that's great. I'm looking forward to the one-on-one class.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be fun.
In addition to, and you mentioned this, but the police do have the Citizens Academy on that as well.
Yep.
And so folks that may not be aware of that, that's a several-week program.
Yeah, it's a similar type setup. So it's 8 weeks, I think, or 6 weeks for them. And they do 2 a year. So they have a fall and a spring one as well. And I think they're at 15 or 20 people. So, yeah, great opportunity to learn about the police department. They do tons of stuff. So you learn about the court system, you learn about jails. I mean, just everything, stuff we don't do. It's more just law enforcement in general, but as well as all the great things our police department does as well.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that, but I was always afraid I was going to get in the car and there was going to be a chase or a shooting or something. And I really didn't want to go
That's
that far.
why you want to do it, right? Get you a little excitement.
Yeah. So I guess the point is there's a lot of opportunities for folks in town to get involved.
Yep.
There's a lot of programs out there available, and we certainly want to encourage everybody to get out there and be part of the community. So with that, we're coming to the end of the show. So Woody, if you're listening, hopefully we did you right this last segment. So Tyler, thanks for being here, and thank you for everything you do. And we really just appreciate you guys listening. And this has been About Town with Mayor Washam.
Serving you better than ever before.